Hello, adventurers of all shapes and sizes. My name is Chance. Welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 52nd episode of our Feat series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Stealth Archer feat, also known as Skulker. If you've ever played Skyrim, you will 1000% get the reference, and you will appreciate the aspect behind this particular choice. That being said, Skulker is found in the player's handbook, and it attracts a very certain kind of playstyle to it, as I'm sure you will notice here in a bit. That being said, let's take a look at its description and kind of look at what we're dealing with here. First and foremost, it might be worth noting that there is a prerequisite for this feat, and that is that you have to have a dexterity of 13 or higher before you pick it. And it kind of makes sense. That being said, let's take a look at the full description here so you can kind of get a better idea as to why and how this functions. You are expert at slinking through shadows. You gain the following benefits. You can try to hide when you are lightly obscured from the creature from which you are hiding. When you are hidden from a creature and miss with a ranged weapon attack, making the attack doesn't reveal your position, and dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception checks relying on sight. Super cool stuff. You can kind of see what I mean when this would attract a certain playstyle. That being said, let's take a look at the walkthrough and break it down just a little bit further. First and foremost, the hiding while you're lightly obscured, super great, means you can essentially roll a hide when you have very little cover, very little visibility loss between you and the target. Super helpful for getting out of a pinch as well. And then not being able to get your position noticed through missing is super beneficial. Man, if I had a nickel every time I was in a campaign and I hit or I took a shot and then missed, only to have it compromise my position and put me in a really rough spot, well, then I'd have quite a few nickels. That being said, really good there, and dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception checks, which is super great even outside of combat. With that all out of the way, let's take a look at my personal thoughts. I absolutely love this one from a roleplay aspect, from a thematic aspect, and from a mechanical aspect. I find it to be one of the stronger feats in the game. My only criticism of it really is that it doesn't stack with levels the same way a lot of the other ones do. That being said, I mean, the ability to hide in the faintest of cover is super great. Now, Wood Elves get something very similar as a racial ability, but for the most part, this is a good way for everyone to get access to it. The ability to miss an attack and not have it screw up your whole plan is also super great. And the dim light part, phenomenal too, because it really does open up the versatility of your character quite a bit. And there's not a whole lot of popular races that have dark vision, so this is a good way to kind of get around that. In terms of who benefits most from this, I gotta say the rogue when they don't have dark vision already. I think that's pretty fair. They can hide as a bonus action, which is really nice, and then they can really take advantage of their sneak attack a little bit further. Outside of that, I'm not actually too sure. The rogue's the obvious choice. My biggest criticism of this particular feat is that it doesn't incorporate spell attacks or ranged spell attacks. So that's a little bit of a misnomer there. Rangers, for sure. There's a certain multi-class build with Ranger and Bard, so that's pretty cool. But Rogues and Rangers primarily would benefit from this. The Kensi Monk might as well, if you go with the bow and arrow as your Kensi weapons. So you could do that. Outside of those three, I can't really think of anything else that would benefit too much from this. It kind of depends on the thematic aspect of your character, though. Oh, the Arcane Archer could as well. That's another one. So 4 total. In any case, if you have any ideas for which class could work good with this, any combo ideas, any comments, any cool stories, or any thoughts involving Skulker, I'd really like to hear them down in the comments below. I love reading them, and I know everyone else does as well. Thank you so much again, you guys, and as always, happy adventuring.